Hi, my name is Christian Lee, business journalist for XBC Media, and today I'm joined by Dan Waugh, partner at Regulus Partners. We've had a really interesting talk on the RET Levy and its implementation. How will transitioning the distribution of funds to the NHS for sort of research into problem gambling and treatment and prevention, how do you think that will change the sector?
Well, it could change it dramatically. If we start with treatment, which historically has been the biggest recipient of funding through the RET system, treatment has historically been conducted by charities. Organisations like Gordon Moody have been doing it for more than half a century, GamCare for about a quarter of a century. They are now being thrown into complete uncertainty about whether they're going to be able to carry on operating, because they will have to apply to the NHS for the money that used to come direct to them under the voluntary system. They are also being suggested or told that they cannot go out and receive their traditional funding from gambling operators. So the idea seems to be to make them dependent upon the NHS with no certainty about whether they'll get any money out of the NHS.
And how important is it that that third sector doesn't get left behind, given the expertise it's gained over the last so many years in leading the way in terms of research into problem gambling?
Well, it's critical, again, from a treatment perspective. I think that the third sector has provided about 85% of the treatment, and in previous years, even more than that. So you are talking about potentially destabilising the vast majority of treatment services in this country. In other areas, there are organisations that conduct harm prevention work. In fact, some of the treatment providers have, and they're having to shut down those services. So areas like training for gambling industry employees for around safer gambling, these programs are being shut down. So we're seeing all kinds of unintended negative consequences, or potentially intended consequences, arising from this levy.
And just to finish off, in the past, you've been quite scathing about OHID, so described as prohibitionist. How will their sort of involvement in the whole problem gambling research sector, are you optimistic for that, or do you think they'll cause problems?
So I think there's one good thing about OHID being involved in it, and that is that they are a public body, so they can be scrutinised. We can use various techniques to scrutinise them to make sure that they are being open and doing as they're meant to do. But I think, this is an organisation that has proposed annual tax increases above the rate of inflation on the industry, which is in essence a prohibitionist measure. They've also touted the idea of plain packaging for gambling, and that means no colours, images or logos on any gambling products, which would include things like a deck of cards. So they have said publicly that they want to take the same approach to gambling as they have done to tobacco. That's a clear statement of prohibitionist intent. So we should be very worried that they have been given a mandate and a pot of money to go out and pursue this. In terms of their research, we saw with their work on the economic costs of gambling harm that they have very low standards of quality and arguably low ethics in producing statistics on things like serious matters like suicide, with really no care and no sort of attention to what people might think is accurate.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a concerning time for operators. Like I said, the third sector as well. There's a lot more questions and answers at the moment. Thanks for joining today, and enjoy little time's left of the talk. Cheers.
Thanks, Tristan.